Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo están? Muy bien. Bienvenidos a la clausura de las celebraciones del mes de la herencia hispana aquí en Forest Grove Middle School. Welcome to the closing event of all the celebrations related to Hispanic heritage here at Forest Grove Middle School. Welcome, everyone. At this time, I do want to acknowledge some people here that might be celebrating this entire month because we're celebrating your heritage. So if you are one of the people celebrating this month, Hispanic heritage, because you come from one of these countries, I'll be calling the names. And if you are from that country, just stand up. Kids that are in the classrooms, you may do this as well. Stand if I call your country. These countries are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. A ver. España. ¿Alguien de España? Muy bien, España. México. México. ¿Alguien de México? Muy bien. ¿Alguno de Costa Rica? Bien. Estudiantes de El Salvador. El Salvador. ¿Alguno de Honduras? Honduras. Muy bien. ¿Alguno de Nicaragua? ¿Alguna persona de Nicaragua? Panamá. ¿Alguna persona de Panamá? Cuba. ¿Dónde están los cubanos? Cuba, muy bien. Argentina. ¿Alguna persona de Argentina? Bolivia. Bolivia. Chile. Chilenos. Muy bien. Colombia. Los colombianos, ¿dónde están? Muy bien. Paraguay. ¿Alguno de Paraguay? Vamos, quiero escuchar a los maestros de español. De Perú. De Perú. Señor López y señora Ramsey. Perú. Uruguay. ¿Alguno de Uruguay? Venezuela. ¿Alguno de Venezuela? Guinea Ecuatorial. Muy bien. Guatemala. Guatemala. Let's get into the big groups now. Ecuador. Ecuador? No? República Dominicana. Muy bien, dominicanos. Dominicanos en la casa. A ver, Puerto Rico. Muchas gracias a todos y bienvenidos. Welcome everybody. Let's have some words from our principal, Dr. Morse.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So as we begin, I'd just like to, again, welcome Forest Grove students, teachers, staff, our speakers this afternoon, and our students both in person and on live stream. As was mentioned, today marks a celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. Throughout the month, we have come together as a school through a variety of activities to learn about Spanish language, customs, traditions, and culture. By learning about cultures and through the study of languages, we get a better understanding of our world and each other. Learning languages also makes us stronger students, ready for high school and well beyond. And today, we welcome Ms. Melendez-Quintero. We're going to have Ms. Ramsey come up to introduce. Thank you.
Buenas tardes. Mr. Morse, principal of Forest Grove Middle School, assistant principals, Mr. Michael Tibadu, Mrs. Susan Bassing, Mr. Richard Houlihan, Mrs. Mann, World Language Liaison for the Worcester Public Schools, Forest Grove Middle School teachers and staff, dear students. It is a great honor for me to talk to you about our special guest. She is a very important Hispanic in our community. She is the manager of the Office of Multilingual Education for the Worcester Public Schools. Nuestra invitada especial es la directora general de la escuela, de la Oficina de Educación Multilingüe de las Escuelas Públicas de Worcester, la señora Carmen Meléndez Quintero, de quien yo voy a hablarles un poquito. Escucha. Okay. Bueno, escuchen, por favor, escuchen. Mrs. Carmen Meléndez Quintero is a native of Puerto Rico, raised in Great Brook Valley by a single parent. Mrs. Melendez overcame barriers and became a first-generation college graduate from Assumption University, where she obtained her bachelor's, master's, and CAGS degrees in the field of counseling. She has been working in the education arena for 19 years with an emphasis of supporting multilingual students to achieve and thrive in public education and beyond. Currently, she holds the role of manager of the Office of Multilingual Education for the Worcester Public Schools. La señora Carmen Meléndez Quintero es puertorriqueña. Criada por un solo padre, ella venció muchas barreras en su vida y logró graduarse de la Universidad de Asunción con los grados de bachiller y magíster en la especialidad de consejería. Ella viene trabajando en el campo de la educación por 19 años, apoyando a estudiantes multilingües para lograr sus metas y brillar en las escuelas públicas de Worcester y fuera de él. Yes, through the years, Mrs. Melendez has spearheaded work that supports multilingual students' access to high-quality education. Some of her most recent achievements include expansion of the district's dual language programs to a pre-K-12 model, creation of Worcester Public Schools' first dual language schools, rebranding of the name and vision of the department to represent an asset-based approach to support ESL, world language and bilingual instruction, build bridges with local colleges for multilingual students to take dual enrollment courses in Spanish, and much, much more. Mrs. Melendez's work has been recognized by awards like 100 Puerto Ricans in 2013, Key of the City of Worcester in 2013, Commonwealth of Mass Hispanic Educator of the Year in 2011, Youth Work Appreciation Hispanic Achieving and Celebrating Excellence in 2002, Community Leader Worcester Latino Dollars for Scholars in 2001. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce Mrs. Carmen Meléndez Quintero. Let's welcome Mrs. Carmen Meléndez Quintero.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. So I'm very excited to be here with you and share a little bit about my background and share my story with you. Like it has been mentioned already, my name is Carmen Melendez Quintero. I'm the manager and director of the Office of Multilingual Education. And basically what that is that our office oversees classes of ESL, world language, and classes in bilingual program, those that are taught both in English and in Spanish. Through this work, our commitment is to ensure we remove barriers for all of our students, that we support educators and families as well. So the title of my speech for you today is, and it comes from that famous dicho, querer es poder, which is where there is a will, there is a way. So throughout my speech, I'm gonna ask all of you to repeat this phrase with me. Querer es poder. Muy bien. So I want you to think about this flower, and I want you to observe the conditions that this flower has grown in. In spite of the conditions, the hard terrain, no water or much space to grow, this flower found a way to sprout and bloom. Sometimes we think, if I had a different household, live in a different community, come from a different country, had more money, had this, didn't have that, I could also bloom. I'm here to tell you that no matter what life brings to you, you can always bloom in life. Push through until something happens. My life is much more like this flower. Let me tell you a little bit about my story and why I am here today. So I was born in Puerto Rico and lived there until we abruptly moved in 1984 when my mom had to leave a very abusive relationship. We escaped a life-threatening situation and literally came with the clothes we had on. I remember the exact day when this happened. I was in recess, I was in the 5th grade, I was in recess, and I saw my aunt and my mom drive towards me, and I was surprised. I was not expecting them or to see them at that moment. My mom, crying, yelled at me, "Hurry up, get in the car." I was confused. I didn't know what was happening. Next thing I knew, I was in the car driving to the airport that very moment. So you can imagine how I was feeling at that moment. I literally, in a blink of an eye, was abruptly taken out of my community, my friendships, my schools. To this day, I still wonder what my friends and teachers thought happened to me, because one minute I was in recess, the other minute I was gone. So I came here to Worcester, and I attended the Worcester Public Schools, and thankfully, transitioning to a new country it takes time and it's difficult, especially, learning a new language, a new culture, learning to eat new foods, the weather. But I also brought with me trauma, sadness, anger, so it was not easy for me. But I did find in school a place where I could be myself and I could thrive, at least in one area of my life, even if everything else was a mess. So thankfully at that time, I was able to enroll in an elementary school that had transitional bilingual program. And what that is regular schooling, but you take your courses in Spanish while you attain the English language, and then eventually you transition out. So I was in the transitional bilingual program from the 6th to the 8th grade. And it was, like I said, it was a good experience. I was able to make friends, and really it helped me transition into the new culture, the new school, and start meeting friends. And I remember in 6th grade, I want to share this quote that I still have a note from my ESL teacher at the time that said, "Carmen is an excellent student. All assignments are great and tests are A's. Keep it up, Miss Holden." So these kinds of comments and situations made me think that querer es poder. Exactly. So then I went to middle school, very much like you are sitting right now. And when I was in the 8th grade, my guidance counselor said to me, "You're ready to move on. You could take honors courses." And even though I was nervous because I still felt I was learning the language, I went for it. And it was another scary transition. When you're trying something new, no matter what it is, it's always scary. But I had the encouragement to know I had people there to support me. And that was an important thing for me at that moment, to know that my school counselor and my teachers were there to help me and support me. And initially, because I still did not command the writing in English, all my assignments were orally. I had to copy the notes from my peers until I obtained the language that I needed to do it independently. But I worked so hard. I took advantage of every opportunity the middle school provided for me. Whatever teachers told me, I did. And that's a photo of me and my mom in my 8th grade graduation. And I'm holding a plaque. And that plaque is an honor I received for being the first Latina and English learner still taking ESL classes that was inducted in the Honor Society. So, querer es poder. So, a successful life or schooling is not how you begin. You may have struggles through your journey. I know you've only lived a very short life. You may have had ups and downs, and you'll continue having ups and downs in life. But it's not how you begin, it's how you finish. I have a photo here of Derek Redmond. I don't know if you know him, but he was set to compete in the 400-meter semifinal at the 1992 Barcelona Olympic Games. Something happened while on the race. He broke his hamstring. How often in life we feel that life throws us a curve and takes us out of the course. Personal circumstances add to the heavy burden in our shoulders while we are in this race. But instead of giving up, he stood up regardless of his pain and made a decision to push through the pain, embarrassment, disillusionment, and get to the finish line no matter what. I had a lot of misfortunes, and I could have just settled in thinking about all the bad things that I have gone through and still was going through. But like Eric, I decided to push through, to not let those circumstances dictate where my future was going to lead me. I didn't have the relationship of a biological father. My stepfather abused me. My first winter here in Worcester, I remember, I slept in an apartment that had no heat. I had to sleep with my coat and earmuffs on. I had no hot water, so in order to take a shower, I have to warm up, boil hot water in the stove, and then take a shower with a little cup in the shower. And to top it off, my apartment was infested with cockroaches, so I learned to eat my meals very quickly. But all of those things did not put a stop on my dream and persistent in moving forward and wanted to reach the finish line and want to do better and want better things for myself. And while living here and living in the projects where gang and drug activities were literally at my doorsteps. But like Derek, he knew he was not going to get the medal per se. He felt he had to do this for himself to prove that he can do it. I accomplished what I had set my mind to do. And this is the same mindset I encourage you to have, to carry from season to season in your life. Because querer es. There is a second thing I want to leave with you about Derek. And it's just as important and has brought me to where I am today. Besides the positive attitude and outlook of your future, you also need other people, a support system. What helped Derek finish to the end, besides his courageous determination, was his father. He came out of the sidelines and held him and walked with him towards the finish line. I tell students all the time, and others when I meet with them, if you stop and look closer, you will find people that care about you and your future, whether it's a parent, a teacher, a school counselor, a friend, another family member, a coworker. God has those people in the sidelines for you in case you fall, to run towards you and lift you up. I bet along the way you could think of people that have helped you get there today to where you're at today and get you where you want to go. Don't forget to acknowledge them and thank them. I remember in elementary school, I had that ESL teacher that continuously gave me positive reinforcement that what I was doing was the right thing and I was learning. In middle school, I had my math teacher and my school counselor that pushed me to get out of my comfort zone and try new things. And in high school, because none of my family attended college, I had a teacher who guided me through the entire process of college application, financial aid, and eventually get to college. How does my life look like today? I graduated from college with 3 degrees. I'm a homeowner. I have a wonderful career in education, and most importantly, a beautiful family who are my other support system. They always encourage me and believe in me when I get home tired from a long day of work. They tell me things, you got this, Mom. Those students are lucky to have you. This is your mission. You're living your purpose, and constantly encourage me to push forward no matter what happens. I look at my life now and say, I am blessed, I am favored, and I am great that I've been able to walk through this journey, and I have not been able to do it if it was not for the people that have been in my path. How did I overcome the trauma of my past and difficulties that life threw at me? And there were 2 big realizations that I had, that I was loved by God, loved by people around me, and that I had a purpose. I was here for a reason. And those two thoughts helped me overcome the difficulties that I have gone through. Like the flower in the first picture, I was able to thrive even when others thought I couldn't or wouldn't. Live through abuse, poverty, unsafe neighborhood, single parent who had not even had a chance to graduate from middle school. I had bottled up anger, grief, and hatred. All of this had allowed me to build a never would have thought, but I did mentality, improved statistics, and others wrong. Because querer es, and I'm almost done, but I want to show you now, what now? And Adversity comes our way, and it's part of life, but what you do through adversity is what matters. You push forward until something happens. So professionally, one of my goals are to support students like you, to support educators to succeed, to, in occasions like these, share my story, because my story is not an unusual story. Many of you could relate with some parts of my story. Maybe it's not exactly the same, but you could relate to different situations that could easily discourage you. So I'm hoping that in my role, I'm able to support, I'm able to help you, help families, and help educators meet all of our potential. I want to make a difference, no matter how small it may be, in my everyday life. I don't have to have a microphone. I don't have to have a platform. Even in the smallest interaction I have with people, a smile, kind words, those are things that do make a difference. I want to use my life to the fullest of my potential and ability. Nobody knows how long we have to live. Whatever years I have, I want to be able to one day, when I pass from this world, say, I lived my life to its full potential. I also want to be a trailblazer, a history maker, do things that others would have thought I would never do. Be the best version of me, live for God, and love family. And in conclusion, the next slide, and it's the last slide. I want to encourage you all today to be like the flower that pushes through difficult situations and not just survive, but thrive. To the point that you can say to yourself, I never would have imagined, but I'm here. I did it. I accomplished things. I want to encourage you to say, I want to be a brow raiser, mouth opener, and have people say, how did they do that? They weren't supposed to do that. And like me, I want you to hopefully say one day, I'm not a product of my circumstances, but I'm a product in spite of my circumstances. And thinking about what I was going to share with you today, I thought all of what I went through to this day was worth it if it meant that today I'm able to encourage you, motivate you, and inspire you. And maybe I went through that just for moments like this to share my story with you. So I want to encourage you to always say, querer es poder. So thank you for inviting me to this conclusion of the Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm proud to be a Latina, and I'm proud to be a product of the Worcester Public Schools and be an educator and an administrator in the Worcester Public Schools. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Hola. Guys, what do we say to Mrs. Quintero, Melendez Quintero, for her wonderful words? Gracias. Thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us about your story and everything you went through, but most importantly, like how you overcame all that, obstáculos en tu vida. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Now, a moment that many of you have been waiting for. At this time, you guys know that for the past month, we have been doing different contests. I want to call up two students, Mackenzie O'Brien and Aiden Velez. They are going to share their acrostic poem with the word Hispanic.
History inspires Spanish participation and navigation in culture. I wrote this because Hispanics have had a big contribution in America and around the world, no matter who they were, like civil rights activists, teachers, actors, actresses, or singers.
Hispano, soy orgulloso de padres puertorriqueños. Importancia en saber que nuestra cultura, Spanish es el lenguaje de nuestros países. Palmas de belleza que cubren nuestras playas en Puerto Rico. Aquí encontrarás gente admirable y cariñosa y encima de todo artísticas como Jennifer Lopez y Marc Anthony. No importa tu nacionalidad porque al fin siempre somos unidos. Isla del encanto, la tierra de Boricuén. Cantamos en alegría de puerta a puerta en las fiestas navideñas.
These two students are the winner for their acrostic poem, and we have your prize right here. Thank you very much. The other contest that we had, it was a poster contest, and we have very, very good posters submitted. We chose 2 winners, but we're going to share some other posters that they didn't win a prize, but they're going to be shown here. Samailis Pisados from the Terriers. Continue. Avery Smith from the Huskies. Jaire Olsich from Minuteman. Catalina Paniagua, Huskies. Maya Lane, Huskies. Joshua Villa, Engineers. Chloe Curdy, Minutemen. Maya Burkill, Huskies. And now the winner, one of the winners is Sari Villa. Come on up, Sari Villa. The second winning poster is Rachel Sarpon. Very good. Congratulations. The next 2 winners will be the final trivia winners. Alana Pham from the Huskies. Come on up. One more winner. From the Eagles, come on up. Congratulations. Now we're going to have some students with Ms. Lynn Anderson Lopez and Mr. Joseph Corsia.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Les invitamos a cantar con nosotros. We invite you to sing with us if you know this song. Yeah. All right. Ready? Pa bailar la bamba, pa bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia pa' mi patilla, allá arriba, allá arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, 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 bamba. something about his manners. Didn't walk up with a how you do well. Said there's a lot of girls I can do well. Knew him forever in a minute. And Pop said he got my love in him. He got me feeling like ooh. I knew it when I met him. I loved him when I left him. Got me feeling like ooh. And then I had to tell him I had to go. Na na na, Havana, na na. My heart is in Havana, na na. Me back to East Atlanta, na na na. Oh, but my heart is in Havana. My heart is right as manners, Havana, na na. Havana, na na. Guys, you get close. But my heart is in Havana, na na. He took me back to East Atlanta, na na na. Oh, but my heart is in Havana. My something about his manners, Havana, na na. Havana, na na. Havana, na na. Havana, na na. Hey, thank you to these girls. Gracias, muchas gracias. Gracias por cantar con nosotros. Thank you for singing along.
Before we go, we do want to acknowledge and thank all the people that supported this event throughout the month. Una vez más. Carmen Melendez, our guest speaker, for being here, and the Office of Multilingual Education for your support. Ms. Lopez and Mr. Corsia, thank you for leading the students in those songs. Tracy, thank you for the announcements every day. Judy, and her cousin Judy, who came and set up all this system, thank you. Our principal, Dr. Morse. The Forest Grove World Language Team, the Spanish teachers, thank you very much. All of you students who participated, the administration, and all my colleagues, teachers that are here, and those in the classroom. Thank you very much. Let's hope to do it again next year.